We're going to talk about two things today, Mishler Math students, estimating and percent error. So we'll start with estimating, and let me get rid of the percent error that I just wrote there and finish writing estimating. Okay, so if you're going to estimate, here's what a lot of students do. Like let's say you have a situation where you're going to buy a shirt. You see a shirt for $14.63, so $14.63 for a shirt, okay? And you want to buy 9 of these shirts. No, let's make it 6. You want to buy 6 shirts. And so the first question you have is, okay, how much is this? And you don't have a calculator handy. But that's not, when you're doing problems like this, you've got a calculator handy. So the first thing you do is you grab your calculator and you say, okay, let's see, turn this thing on, and I got 14.63 times 6. And the answer is 87.78. So we say, okay, I'm going to estimate that. That's 90. Okay? $90 for 6 shirts like that. Now, the problem with this is that you didn't estimate. You calculated and rounded off your answer. And so let's try to do the same thing, only let's estimate. All right? And get rid of, oh my goodness gracious, that's not right. Supposed to erase. That's what I wanted to do. Okay. Bear with me. I'm just getting back into the swing of things with this stuff. So back to the pencil, and let's pick a nice color. And excuse me. So here's how you estimate 1463. You change that to something close to it. Like we can round off to 10, or I'm going to round off to 15, okay? And then 6, you say that's already a whole number, but I'm going to make that even a better number. I'm going to round off to 5. Now, I can do this in my head. So if I'm in a store and I don't want to grab my phone and push buttons on my phone and use that as a calculator, then I can estimate real quickly. So I say 1463, this is, and by the way, I do this all the time in my head while I'm doing things, when I'm shopping, anything to do with money. I'm always estimating. And so how do you do 10 or 15 times 5 in your head real quick? Well, 10 times 5 is 50. 5 times 5 is 25. Add those two, you get 75. And so I think my answer is going to be about $75. Now, you said the answer was, oh, let's go back to the calculator and say it was 87.78, right? 87.78. Now, is that a pretty good estimate? Well, not if you're going to do that, but back up a minute. Now, is that a pretty good estimate? Well, I don't know. It's a little low, isn't it? But then we took one of these shirts off, didn't we? What if we wanted to stick with the 6? Okay, so 15 times 6. 5 times 6 is 30. Oh, wait a minute. I can't do this in my head, can I? And so how would I do 15 times 6? Well, if I do 15 times 5, and I add 15, I got 90. That's pretty easy to do in your head, isn't it? And so 90 is a pretty close number, isn't it? And that's what we originally estimated. The difference is, when I do it this way, I'm estimating, and I'm not using my calculator, okay? And so that's the big deal with estimating, is you don't want to use your calculator on it, and you don't want to do this route where you're calculating, you're just using your pen and pencil for a calculator. So the idea behind estimating is trying to make it rounded off and simpler, okay? Let's look at a different possible situation. And let's see if I can clear this baby. Hey, look at that. So another situation, let's suppose a population of 3 cities is, you got one city that's 10,854. Another city is 6,182, and the other city is 4,900 and, whoops, sorry about that. Hey, the eraser works on this thing. Good, okay, 4,950. Now, it's pretty easy to tell. Okay, this is going to be 5,000, right? This, we can change that to 6,000, I think, without hurting anything. And this is going to be 11,000. Now, 6 and 5 is 11, 11 and 11 plus. So the population, the total population of these three cities is approximately 22,000. I did that without having to pick up a calculator at all. Now, you want to double check your answer? That's fine. Let's take a quick look at what that answer might be. Okay, we got 10,000. Oh, I guess it'd be easier if I turned it on first, wouldn't it? All right, 10,854 plus 6,182 plus 4,950 and enter, and 21,986 is the actual. So as you can see, our rounding and estimating very, very close. So that's how you estimate. Okay, you don't pick up your calculator, figure it all out, and then round off the answer. That's not what we're doing. Okay, thank you. But wait, he says, there's more. Yes, indeed, there's more. And we're going to start off with a different color here, and we're going to do some percent error. Percent error. So what does that mean? That means if you're rounding and you get it wrong, you're going to be a little bit off. But there's a difference, okay? All right, I'm going to tell you a story. So Amanda, hang in there, Amanda. All right, Amanda's going to buy a new Kia Soul, okay? Her parents decide she's ready for a new car, so she gets a brand new Kia Soul. And so her parents says, about how much is it going to cost? Amanda says, I think it's about $24,000, okay? And so Amanda looks it up, and it turns out the actual price of the car she wants, $26,500. Now the difference is $2,500, right? So next we have a button to push. There we go. All right. Next we have Brandon. Now Brandon is he's got higher, more expensive tastes. Brandon says he wants a BMW 5 Series. Okay, like a 535 or 540 or whatever it is. Okay, so the one he figured out he wants is, he tells his parents it's about $58,500, right? And so he looks up and does his research, and he finds out the actual price of the one he wants is $61,000. Now, if you subtract these two, the difference is $2,500. Now, Brandon and Amanda get together and say, okay, we're the same, this number is the same, and so we both made the exact same mistake, right? Ah, here comes percent error. Let's look at this. Because percent error is when you take the difference and divide it by the actual price, multiply that by 100%, and that gives you the percent error. So let's see if they made the same mistake. We'll start with Amanda. 2,500 divided by 26,500. and multiply by 100%. And Amanda's mistake, or her percent error, was, and you can use a calculator on this one, 2500, oops, 2500 divided by 26500, and we multiply that by 100, we get 9.4%. Move the decimal point 2 units to the right. So the answer here is she is 9.4%. Her error was 9.4%. Brandon's error, on the other hand, take a look. We can actually do that same second enter, bring the same thing back, only we're going to put the new price, which is $61,000. So we're going to move this over here and 610. So 2,500 over 61,000 times 100% equals. So let's see what that looks like. Enter. It is 0.0409. So rounding that off to a tenth of a percent, it looks like 4.1%. So this is only 4.1%. Do you see the difference here? And without me pushing that wrong button again, try that again. Okay, let's try this. Change my settings a little bit. You see the difference here? Amanda's estimate was 9.4% off. Okay? Brandon's estimate was only 4.1% off. Even though the actual number was the same, they had different margins of error or percent error. And that's how you find percent error. And that's all I'm going to talk to you about that. Thank you very much. Have a great day.